Rumi and Malcolm X, is there a relation? Well, here's a relation for me based on some things I've heard. And I want to get your feedback because I'm not an expert in this area. I just want to start the conversation. Rumi was a Muslim. You know, people all over America are constantly quoting Rumi as the wisest, most peaceful, amazing person who ever lived. He's a Muslim. He's a peaceful, incredibly, brilliantly wise, one of the wisest men who ever lived, and he happens to be a Muslim. Rumi had a lot of followers. One day he met this guy named Shams. Shams means the sun in Arabic. Shams was not a big deal, but Shams knew something about Islam that Rumi didn't. And through Shams, Rumi discovered Islam in a new way. And he was so deeply interested that he threw off everything else he knew to follow this guy Shams. Shams mysteriously disappeared. I don't know whether he was killed or whatever happened, but even though we don't know for sure if the people who followed Rumi killed Shams, some of the people who were following Rumi, who loved Rumi, praised him, followed him, they couldn't stand that Rumi was following Shams. Shams was not a big deal. He was a no-name. What in the world is their hero doing following this guy? You think you're following somebody because you revere them, but in some ways, do you possess what you revere? If the person that you revered was following someone else, wouldn't you want to know what he was following? You know, if I was following Rumi and he discovered something new in Islam, he said until he met Shams that he didn't even understand the beauty of Islam and the peace and the wisdom. And his whole life took a new, deep, powerful direction, all because of his connection with this guy Shams, that we want to possess what we love, whom we love. Malcolm X, on the other hand, is the Nation of Islam and Islam, they're different from what I understand. Someone told me, a Muslim expert told me that they were different. So I'd like to know what the difference between Nation of Islam and Islam is. But Malcolm X, who was fighting for equal rights for blacks, he went off to the Middle East and met a really good friend of mine who's an imam. One of my best friends who's an imam was very good friends with Malcolm X. When Malcolm X was in the Middle East and he was traveling abroad, he discovered Islam. He was worshiping, but he discovered something new. The same way Shams did. I don't know if it's the same way, but similar. They were already in this faith, or heading in this faith, and something happened and they had a discovery that caused them to go deeper into something more that they said was this incredible beauty of Islam. So what is it? What's the connection between Malcolm X and Rumi about when they thought they were Muslims or worshiping a particular way, and what is it that they discovered? You know, Christians have born-agains. Like you'll meet a Christian who was a Christian their whole life, and then one day they have a breakthrough, a flash of light, God speaks to them, something like that, and all of a sudden they are a born-again Christian. They have traveled into a new dimension of faith that transcends everything that they ever had. What is it? What's that connection between Malcolm X and Rumi? I'd like to know. It'd be great. And I'd like to know, again, the connection between Nation of Islam, the Farrakhan, all those, and Malcolm X. So, thanks.